All right, we're going to jump right into the big story tonight because it is the biggest story I think there is out there right now, and that's reopening Oregon and getting people back to work. We are seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel after Governor Brown's announcement yesterday about what can reopen next Friday. Now, we're going to get into that in just a minute, but first I want to talk about the people suffering the most from everything being closed as we get a look at the newest unemployment numbers, and they're not good. I'm sure you saw that coming, though. 20.5 million people were unemployed in April. That's a 14.7% unemployment rate. In Oregon alone, nearly 382,000 people have filed for unemployment in the 7 weeks of the pandemic. That's the equivalent of the entire populations of Salem, Eugene, and Oregon City out of work, right, combined. The worst since the height of the Great Depression at this point in August of 1932. That's when the unemployment rate hit 25.5%. Now, we've talked a lot about Oregon's slow unemployment system that the Employment Department insists is up to handling the task of everybody's claims, even though I would say the emails that we get every single day from people who say they've yet to see a dollar yet make me feel otherwise. That said, though, today we really want to hone in on Governor Brown's announcement yesterday that some counties may begin to reopen in a week. Now, look, it doesn't mean that everything is going to open at once. It doesn't mean that most things are going to reopen. So we want to take a few minutes and talk about what's open now, what will definitely open next Friday, what could open next Friday, and what will not open next Friday. All right, are you with us? So right now, nothing has changed from yesterday as of today, except for the fact that the governor has now required grocery, pharmacy, and transit workers required them to wear masks, and they're urging customers to do the same. Other than that, the same businesses that have been open all along are still open in the same capacity as they have been, along now with non-emergency surgeries, which started again on May 1st. As for what will definitely open next Friday, some summer schools and camps and child care centers will be allowed to reopen as long as they are practicing physical distancing and abiding by some other restrictions that are out there. The governor also mentioned standalone retailers could open, which made me think, what exactly is a standalone retailer? It seemed a little vague for the average person, so Kristen Severance clearly here, hopefully helping us to clarify things. Kristen.
Right, that was my first question too. What's a standalone retailer? So I think a lot of us thought, okay, all these stores, every store is just going to open right up on May 15th, but that's not the case. So you will see jewelry stores opening, furniture stores, boutiques, and art galleries. And when they do open, you're going to see things like employees, they have to wear masks, they have to frequently clean, there has to be 6 feet of distance between customers and employees, and the stores also have to post signs about COVID-19 symptoms, and if a customer has those symptoms, they should not enter the store.
All right, so standalone retailer, you got the door, you walk in, you're in their business, that's it. But what about a mall? A mall is like a big building filled with a bunch of standalone retail shops. Can they open?
So they cannot open unless their county is given permission to reopen by the governor's office. And we know that counties can start applying today. So I reached out to some of the indoor and outdoor malls today, Bridgeport Village, Washington Square, the outlets. Bridgeport Village, they were the only ones to get back to me with details. And they said, look, even when we open up, when we're allowed to open up, it's going to be gradual. So not all stores at once. And of course, you're going to see some of the same things there, employees cleaning and following those guidelines to keep everyone safe.
Got it. Okay, Kristen Severance, thank you. Now, everybody, we're going to get into a little bit of muddier territory now on what could open possibly next Friday. Remember, the governor said Oregon will start to reopen in 3 phases, but each individual county will have to apply to enter phase 1, which means that restaurants and bars and salons and barbershops and gyms and all that stuff could reopen with some restrictions if the county that they are in gets the green light. And those counties can start applying for phase 1 today. Now, to be approved, they have to check all of these boxes first. Have declining COVID-19 cases, build a testing and contact tracing system, have enough quarantine facilities, have enough rooms in their hospitals, have enough PPE. They also need to abide by agreed upon guidelines for opening these businesses with the state. And the governor said some rural Oregon counties will probably be able to apply and even enter phase 1 in a week because they have so few cases. But I do know viewers like Steve Dunn, for instance, they want to know a little bit more about that. He asked, what counties are considered rural? Polk County? Question mark? Yeah, some parts of Polk County, of course, are rural, but some others touch Salem. So you have to really take that into account. And it sounds like the state will be looking a little bit more at cases and infrastructure and a little less at overall size. It just so happens, though, the counties with less density, you'd be less likely to spread this virus. For what it's worth, the OHA has recorded 80 positive cases and 5 deaths in Polk County. Now, we can say one thing for certain, and that's that Multnomah County will not be one of the counties opening next Friday or even applying to reopen.
Minimum 3 weeks, probably more like a minimum of 4 weeks, realistically. And we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. Again, a month in this pandemic, things can change dramatically.
And that brings us to what won't be opening anytime soon. Not on May 15th, not in a month, probably not all summer. And that is concerts, sporting events, really anything with large crowds. We won't be having those through at least September.